ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुर श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवं च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सवधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमाते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। Teachings from our Ramayana class ki jai. So today is our 14th number session. We are reading the Ramayana book. This His Holiness Bhakti um, this is Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj is compiled this book. So we are reading and trying to finding some teachings for our spiritual life. So please you can also to join. Previously, a great brahmacharya named Chuli had been performing severe austerities. An unmarried Gandharva girl attended to him like a menial maidservant. Eventually, Chuli, Chuli became pleased by her selfish service and offered her a benediction. Julie became pleased by her and selfish service, offering a benediction. So, what is the teachings we can get from here? When you just to serve someone without any condition and without any like a terms and condition, you can get some benediction from there. But when we are just to doing something with the mood of like something material things we want, that time we not get any benediction, rather we can get some punishment. What is really not too good for our, because in this material world, whatever activities you do behind there is some cause. But spiritual activities and in this world, some of the activities we have to do without any condition, terms and condition. So eventually, Chuli became pleased by her selfish service and offered her a benediction. The girl requested the rishi that the girl requested the rishi to give her an exceptional son while allowing her to remain a virgin. Shuli agreed and thus appeared a mind-born son of a great ascetic prowess named the Brahmadatta. Later, Brahmadatta ruled as a king, and it was he who Kushumba Kusunaba decided would be a suitable match for his daughter. The that um, Kusunabo has a one daughter, and he thought that it will be the suitable son for my daughter. It is a nature we can get from here. 1 minute. It is one of the nature to our human life. Just if a mother has a good daughter, always to see that any good boy, immediately think about this boy is suitable to my daughter. If you have a good son, the mother always to think about this daughter, but this girl is suitable for my son. So it is a nature of a parents. Thus, after being invited to Kushunava's palace, Brahmadatta accepted the 100 girls. That is 100 girls he accepted. Upon touching their hands at the marriage ceremony, one after another, their bodily deformation vanished, and each girl became beautiful again. We know that girls got the cards from that uh, Rakshasas because he wanted to get married. Vishwamitra then concluded his narration by explaining Kushunabo had no son. However, so he performed a sacrifice for the purpose. As a result, uh, Gadhi was later born to Kushuna, and I am the son of King Gadhi. The next morning, the party continued their journey, and by evening, they reached the bank of the Ganges. As they passed the night there, Rama requested to Vishwamitra to narrate the history of a Ganga river. Thus, Vishwamitra related the following story. The Lord Rama is one after again, is asking so many questions. All the different stories, this, that. We can get the teachings, one thing here. Those who are senior personalities and very intellectual person, if he sees that anybody really to be inquiry in spiritual subjects or something what is good for the spirituality and the human being, whatever questions is asked, we should give the answer. Vishwamitra never said to Lord Ram that I can't give the answer of this question. He again and again said, okay, whatever your questions, I'll give the answer. So one after one, Lord Rama is asking different question and Vishwamitra tried to give the answer of that. So the story is like that. The presiding deity of Himalayas, Himavan, begot two daughters by Mena, the daughter of Mount Meru named Ganga and Uma. The presiding deity of Himalayas is Himavan. The Himalayas, the presiding deity is Himavan. We got two daughters by Meena, the daughter of Mount Meru. So Meru Putri, Meru Duto Putri hai. Just the two daughters. First is Ganga and another is Uma. Once upon a time, Lord Brahma approached Himavan and requested him to allow the demigods to adopt Ganga from the future welfare of the universe. Himavan readily agreed and later gave his daughter Uma to Lord Shiva, mm, for she had always meditated upon him while performing severe austerities. After receiving Uma, Lord Shiva began enjoying with her in the inter, uh, uninterpreted conjugal relationship. However, even after passing 100 celestial years in conjugal embrace, no offspring came from their combination. In the Devatas counting, 100 years they are conjugal love, affection there, but they have no offspring. We can get one of the teachings that any like Lord Shiva even enjoying with the wife is the main purpose is to begot a good child. It's to good children. You know. So good children ask first. Take a test. So after receiving Uma, Lord Shiva began enjoying with her also. At this time, the demigods approached Lord Shiva and begged, please desist from your mm, desist from your sexual activities, O Lord, for we fear that the offspring produced will be too powerful for the universe to bear. Instead, we humbly request you to restrain yourself and practice austerity and meditation. Lord Shiva replied, I accept your proposal, for my heart is actually inclined towards self realization. However, since my semen has already become unseated from my heart, it will have to be received somewhere. The demigod then suggested, let the earth, which can bear any amount of burden, receive your seed. Thereafter, Lord Shiva released his power semen and it produced to cover the entire surface of the earth. Upon seeing this, the demigod feared the earth might crack. Thus, they began praying to Agni and Vayu, requesting them to devour all the encompassing semen of Lord Shiva. Can you imagine? So powerful there. In answer to the demigod's prayer, Agni took the help of Vayu, went to consume the semen. As soon as the fire god touched it, some of the Lord's semen turned into a white mountain. Part of that and a part of the further transformed into a tree of effulgent white reeds. The taste of the semen remained uncharged and was unserved with Agni. The demigod were elated to see that the earth had been served from impending calamity. With grateful heart, they went to Lord Shiva, and his wife. However, Uma was very angry with the demigod of interrupting her while she was absorbed in sexual enjoyment. Seeing the demigod before her, Uma cards them and saying, may all your wives become barren. Likewise, let the earth not only remain childless, but also came to have an uneven surface and be ruled over the numerous king. Thereafter, the Lord Shiva and Parvati retired to the northern Himalayas to performing the austerities. Give the cards. So that's why we can see the demigods are not to have any child. Some time later, when the demigods were being harassed by the demons, and they approached to Lord Brahma, hoping to acquire a formidable military commander. In reply to demigod's appeal, Lord Brahma advised them, because of Parvati's cards, you are unable to produce a child to serve your purpose. Therefore, I suggest that Agni place the semen of Lord Shiva into the womb of Ganga. In this way, a heroic son will be begot. Can you imagine how a powerful one of the lady? Sometimes we are thinking how much power of a lady. It is so powerful to giving the cards. That's why demigod have no child. Thereafter, the demigod approached Agni and related Lord Brahma's instructions. Hearing these, Agni approached the heavenly river and Mandakini Ganga. He then requested to her to accept the semen of Shiva, which he has been holding for a long time. Ganga agreed to proposal. Then, after assuming a most beautiful form, she allowed herself to be pre granted by Agni. However, soon after receiving the fiery semen of Lord Shiva, Ganga Devi felt an intense and agonist pain. With great agitation, she told Agni, I cannot continue to bear the semen of Lord Shiva in my womb. Its burning is intolerable. Agni then instructed Ganga to cast off the semen at a certain place in the Himalayas, and she hurriedly went there. In this way, the semen of Lord Shiva, which had been acquired in a shiny golden luster because of its contracting, Ganga Devi fell into a uh, thicket of white reeds on the white mountain. In this way, a wonderful child born. The other portion of the semen that fell upon the earth transformed into the gold and silver miner. So now you understand the how the gold and silver mine is coming. That's why Parikshit Maharaj say that the Maya, the attachment is to, or otherwise people are doing the corruption that those who are connecting with the gold. That's why the Pap Purusha to residing there, because it is the gold and mind is coming from the Siemens of Lord Shiva, and that we got that from the Parvati. Indeed, because of the fierce energy of Lord Shiva's semen, mine of copper and iron was created in distant place. Because it is so powerful, automatically another two, mind and the copper also created distance. After the birth of child, the demigod brought six goddesses called Kritikas to nurse him. They assured the woman that the baby would come to be known as their son. For this reason, the child became known as a Kartikeya. The boy was called in Skanda to follow because he had fallen from the womb of Ganga. That's why we know that Kartikeya temple in South India, they are just to worship. It's very popular, but our Vaishnav Sampradaya not to worship to that because the Kartikeya is it is one of the symbols of Lord Shiva, and that is not a very idol worship that because he saw the sixth mother before him. The baby assumed six faces to suck breast milk from all of them. Skanda, Skanda was so strong that when he was only 1 day old, he killed many fierce demons as the commander in chief of the demigod. So powerful because he's the Siemens of Lord Shiva. That's why it's not an ordinary person. Vishwamitra then related to Lord Rama the story of King Shagara, who long ago ruled the world from his capital, Ayodhya. Ayodhya's capital was who long ago ruled the world from his capital, Ayodhya. Ayodhya capital that he was ruling, the King Shagara. Because the Maharaj Shagar was unable to beget a son, he, along with his two wives, went to the Himalayas to performing austerities. Here we can teachings, we can get it that when you not to get it by normally, we not to go to like a materialistic way to get something. Rather, we can do some performing austerities, then we can get the best thing. Sometimes we can see in this material world, any mother not to beget a child, then she is going to so many difficult process and finally begot the child. Maybe that child has so many defect, so many problems, and that also become desperate child. So many like problems we can see. But it is our scripture says when you something not to get by naturally, you go to not a pressurizing way. You rather go to austerical way. Then you can get something better things, whatever you are expecting. So after some time, the king was benedicted by the great Rishi Vrigu with the boon that he would receive a son by one wife who would become the perpetuator of his dynasty, while his other wife would give birth 60,000 more sons. Hearing this, the two queens questioned Rigu Muni, who would receive one son and who would receive 60,000 sons. Rigu replied that the decision would be left to them. Problem. If the ladies are throwing this decision is a make a big problem. Then Keshini, the elder queen, chose to have a single uh, son who would perpetuate the Ikshaku line. Sumati, the sister of Garuda, chose to have 60,000 sons. So now you understand the Shagura's two wife name, the Keshini and Shumati. So Keshini's son is one son that will become the lineage of Ikshashu dynasty and just ruling the world. Another one, Shumati, will get the 60,000 sons. Maharaj Sagar returned home, and in a due course of time, a son was born to Keshini and given the name of Oshomanjasa. His name is Oshomanjasa. Shumati, however, gave birth to a lump of flesh and shaped like a bitter melon. Bitter melon. Bitter melon means like a Kerala. Understand? It's a Kerala. Shortly thereafter, when the lamp was opened up, 60,000 embryonic sons emerged. They were immediately immediately placed in a jar of ghee by their nurse until they would complete their development. Later, when these 60,000 sons began growing up, their cruel elder stepbrother Oshomanjasha began to throw them into the river Sarju, laughing with great pleasure to see them drown. You know the story very nicely. How the Ganges coming to this world, his elder brother. You see, we can get the teachings. Those who get the post and position, how they are doing so many like a bad things, how they're doing something illogical things. So post and power is so daring. So Prabhupada says that post and position is not a mood of goodness, it's a mood of the passion. Being very aggrieved due to the vicious behavior of his son, Maharaj Shagar finally decided to exile Oshomanjasha from his kingdom. Although he kept the son of Oshomanjasha, the Amshuman, mm, although he kept the son of Oshomanjasha, Anshuman, who was loved by all the subjects. So Oshomanjasha's son was Amshuman. He became the king. After some time, Maharaj Shagara inaugurated the performance of a horse sacrifice with Amshuman protecting the challenge horse as it is wandered over the earth. However, during the performance of sacrifice, King Indra appeared in the disguise of a Rakshasa and stole the horse from sacrifice arena. So you see, the demigod also is stealing when they see that my post and position can take. So we are so foolish. We can go to the demigod to asking the name, fame, property, this, that. But we know that even demigod not to giving something, what is really to be go across there beyond the limitation. They will give it how much portion, that much you can become the suppressor under their control. So you see, now you asking something from them. Now you asking something from Lord. Visibles. The priest fervently urged Maharaj Shagara to recover the horse at, at all cost. He warned that if the sacrifice remained incomplete, it would be most inauspicious. It is a teaching. Something you take a commitment to do, something like austerity. And in middle of this austerity, puja, whatever, it will stop, then it will be effect to your family. That's why if you are just like a organize something and in between some interpretation will come and you stopped it, don't do that. Then that will be the great effect to your family. When you start, just like Maharaj Shagara started to fire sacrifice, and in between, the Indra came and he stole the horse. And that's why Rishis, Munis say, any cost, you have to do that. Maharaj Shagara then ordered his 60,000 sons to search the entire earth for the horse, allotting each of them 1 square jojana. He further instructed his son that if the horse could not be found elsewhere, they should look below the earth. Thus Maharaj Shagara and his grandson Anshuman waited at the sacrificial area. The 60,000 princes searched the entire earth. When they were unable to find the horse anywhere, the sons of Sagara began digging into the earth. This, however, upset the inhabitant of the lower world, such as the Nagas. Indeed, even the earth himself became extremely disturbed. Saying this, the demigod approached Lord Brahma and petitioned him to set right the situation. And this Bengali one word said, Karo Magmas, Karo Poshmas. So sometime we have to following the order to someone. It is good for someone, it is bad for someone. So in material world is like that. If you following the instruction of someone, this instruction for somebody is a good, this instruction for the somebody is a bad. That we have to know that. Understand? So when the 60,000 sons of Shagara started to digging the earth, then all the Nagas, even the mother earth become distressed. So they went to Lord Brahma to you just to resolve this situation. Lord Brahma pacified the demigods, explained that since the earth was a consort, earth explained that since the earth was a consort of Vishnu, the Lord in his form of Kapila would soon annihilate all 60,000 sons of Shagara. So don't worry, this Mother Earth is the Lakshmi Devi. So to save the wife, the husband will do that something. So Vishnu is the husband of Lakshmi. So he is annihilated the 60,000 sons of Shagara. Even after the digging up the earth, killing many lives and many living beings in the process, the sons of Shagara could not find the sacrificial horse and thus returned to their father disappointed. When the 60,000 princes inquired from their father what they should do next, the king ordered them to continue digging further down until the horse found. So that's how the father is displeased. Again, order you more dig. The sons of Shagara resumed their excavation of all the 4 quarters of Earth's surface. Soon came to see the 4 colossal elephants that protect the 4 direction and the support the earth. This gigantic elephant support the entire weight of the earth upon their back. So can you imagine? This whole earth is supporting on the top of the 4 elephants. So when they're digging, they are feeling so bad. That's why the 4th direction, the big gigantic elephant is coming. And when, due to the exhaustion, they sometimes shake their head for relief, the creates the earthquake. Finally, after penetrating the earth all the way down to the Roshato, the earth went to the Roshato. The sons of Shagura came upon the Lord Kopila sitting in the meditation, while nearby the sacrificial horse stood grazing peacefully. Shagura's son assumed Kopila to be the thief. So the sons were thinking the 60,000, the Kopil is stealing and the, stole the our horse. And thus they angrily took up their digging impediment and rushed to kill him. Seeing this act aggression, Kopila became angry. So it is a teachings for us. Something if you don't know properly, you don't go to action or something to say. First you know properly, then you can take some decision. Otherwise, it will be effect for your life. Then simply by uttering the mantra Ham, he reduced the 60,000 of Shagaras to ashes. He reduced the 60,000 sons of Shagara to ashes, whom whenever he do, immediately they become ashes. After a long time, when his sons had not returned, Maharaj Shagara sent his grandson Amshuman to search for his 60,000 sons and the sacrificial horse. By following the path his uncles had taken, Amshuman came to the passes excavated by them. After entering the earth, Amshuman came upon the great elephant and inquired from them about the whereabouts his uncle. In the reply, the elephant assured him that by continuing down passage, he would soon came to know that everything. At last, Amshuman reached the place where the ashes of the sons of Shagar lay. Seeing this, he became overwhelmed with grief. Amshuman found the sacrificial horse nearby and decided to first offer the water for their departed soul of his uncle before returning to the grandfathers. Unfortunately, there was no water to be found in that place. So it is a teachings. Whenever you see that your forefathers is any place you go, holy place, you will give it to offering to the water, your forefather. So Amshuman when saw that my 60,000 uncles are like that, to send it to them, to grandfather. So he wanted to offer some water, but there is no water. While Amshuman was thinking what to do, Garuda suddenly appeared and said, my dear Amshuman, do not grieve for your uncles. Their death are ultimately meant for achievement of glorious purpose. The sons of King Shagura will be instrumental in uh, bringing the searched Ganga down to the earth for the welfare of all people. So don't worry, your all the uncles will bring the sacred river Ganga down to the earth. Your uncles were burned to ashes by the great says Kopila. What is the teachings we can get? We can get one of the teachings there. even something happened to our life with the great personalities, that's also a benediction. Just like we can see Narad Muni gave the cards to in Krishna Lila, Chamal Arjun. We can see so many rishis are giving the cards to so many demons, so many people, but that cards in future for them become a benediction. So sometimes we get some punishment or cards from the devotees, we not to be regretted. It will be the benediction for our life. So Kopil Muni was giving the cards to 60,000 sons of Shagaras and become ashes. In future, they become the one of the great pioneer to bring the Ganga into this material world. Understand? So your uncle will burn to ashes by the great says Kopila. When they remains were are washed over the water of Ganga, they will attain heavenly destination. Now take the sacrificial horse and return to your grandfather so that the sacrifice can be completed. With the return of their sacrificial horse, Maharaj Shakur successfully concluded the sacrifice. After hearing from Amshuman, the prophetic order of Garuda, the king became absorbed in trying to formulate the mean to make the Ganga descended to the earth. However, Maharaj Shagara passed away before achieving the goal. After the death of grandfather, Amshuman ruled the kingdom for some time. He later gave the throne to his son Dilipa. Dilip. Amshuman's son is Dilip. He giving to this Dilip. And retired to the forest to perform austerity, hoping to induce Ganga to descend to the earth. After his death, Amshuman went to heavenly planet, but his desire to cause descendant of the Ganga remained unfulfilled. So you also can't. Dilip also sought to bring the Ganga to the earth, but he too died before his desire was fulfilled. So Dilip's sons, Bhagirath, then inherited the kingdom. Likewise, what is the teachings we can get? What is the teachings we can get? The teachings is that in our dynasty, whatever children is coming, especially the sons, their main responsibility to relieve the forefathers from the uh, sufferings in the hellish planet and whatever. For that things, parents are asked just to begetting the child. So it is a dharma of a children when the parents or die or for the forefathers do the pinda ceremonies or some special activities what is to giving or elevated the departed soul. So we can see Shaguras one after sons and grandsons trying to be uplifted that Shagura's 60,000 sons. So it is our duty to elevate or departed to our forefathers to be in a proper place. So Dilipa's son Bhagirath then inherited the kingdom and likewise desired to perform austerity to cause Ganga to descend. Since he had no sons, Bhagirath entrusted the rule of kingdom to his minister and retired to the forest. So Bhagirath has no children. He think about I have to do myself because I have no any inheritance that who will just to following my order if I will die. That's why he leave it to the kingdom to the minister hand and he went to that. After Maharaj Bhagirath had performed austerity for 1,000 years, Lord Brahma became pleased with him and accompanied by the demigod, Lord Brahma appeared before the king to award him a benediction. What we can get the teachings from here? Before the Bhagira, Dilip, Amshuman, and also Shagara, they are trying to descend the Ganga by their own power. They are endeavoring. That's why they couldn't. They can't. They couldn't bring the Ganga in this material world. But we can see why Bhagirath can. Why? Why Bhagirath could bring the Ganga in this world? Because Bhagirath, to bring the Ganga, he did the austerity. So what teachings we can get? Something exceptional things you have to do. Don't try and don't be depend on your power and position. Depend on austerity, sadhana. Just like Prabhupada, when he got the instruction from his Gurudev, immediately he come to Vrindavan. He doing the severe austerity in Radha Damodar temple. And he got the so much power and benediction from Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Goswami. Then he went to Western world and they did a biggest the work for this humans welfare of this society. So in this way, we can get the teachings. Anything you have to do some extraordinary work, you need to extraordinary tapasya, sadhana. Then you can do something extraordinary things. So, Lord Brahma appeared before the king to award him a benediction. Maharaj Bhagirath worshipped Lord Brahma, then begged, please allow my ancestor, the son of King Sagara, to receive the water of Ganga. In addition, kindly benedict me to have a son. Lord Brahma replied, I agree to award you this benediction. However, the earth is incapable of bearing the weight of Ganga descent. You should request Lord Shiva to absorb the impact of falling water, for only he powerful to enough to do so. Determined to again Lord Shiva's favor, Maharaj Bhagirath began to perform severe austerity. He stood motionless on the tip of a single toe for 1 year. At the time, Lord Shiva was pleased to appear before the king. When Maharaj Bhagirath expressed his desire, Lord Mahadev agreed to bear the force of Ganga's falling water upon his head. That's why Lord Shiva's one name is Gangadhar. He's holding the Ganga. Soon afterwards, the Ganges began to descend towards the earth. From here, cross the heavenly planet. All the demigods assembled to witness the spectacle. However, when Ganga Devi saw the Lord Shiva prepared to take her upon his head, she considered that his contact would contaminate upon her. Thus, upon seeing the expression of disgust displaced by Ganga Devi, Lord Shiva became insulted. In In retaliation, he angrily captured her and concealed her water within his matted hair and throttled her descended to the earth. Soon after, the Ganga Devi became descended to all the demigod assembled to witness the spectacle. However, when Ganga Devi saw Lord Shiva prepared to take her upon his head, she considered that this contact would be contaminated her because he's a Vaishnava, na? How can he sitting with on the head of a Vaishnava? That's why, thus you see here is a teachings. Ganga Devi even to think about the Lord Shiva, but we are criticizing to Vaishnavas and defame the Vaishnavas very immediate. But Ganga Devi is so much to think about that. So thus upon seeing the expression of disguise displayed by Ganga Devi, Lord Shiva became insulted. That why you disguised? Say immediately caught and throw the art. When Maharaj Bhagirath saw that how Ganga had become entangled, he resumed his austerity. Finally, Lord Shiva gave up his anger and released the Ganga Devi, allowing her to fall into the Bindu Sarovar in the Himalayas. So Lord Shiva tied up the Ganga into his matted hair and he was falling entangled. So Bhagirath thought, it is my prayer, Ganga Devi came to this world. So falling in the distress situations, it is my duty to just to relieve from this entanglement. So he just to pray to Lord Shiva and he was reduced his angry and released the Ganga into this material world. So the first, the Ganga came from the head of the Lord Shiva to Bindu Sarovar in Himalaya. Afterwards, the Ganga split into 7 streams. Six of the formatted others river, while the seventh followed Maharaj Bhagirath as he rode upon the royal chariot. While winding her through various lands, it so happened that Ganga indicted the sacrificial arena of the great sage Janu. So he was going to so rashly, na, even whatever is Ganga, whatever place, he washed away everything. So there is a rishi, sacrificial area of Jannumuni. If you go to Mayapur, there is a Jannumuni's place. You can see Navadip. So becoming the excited with the race, the rishi swallowed up the entire river. Can you imagine how powerful the rishi? He just to whole Ganga take into his belly. After seeing this, the demigods were struck with the wonder. Then they approached Jannu and requested him to release the Ganga Devi on the condition that she would become known as his daughter. So please to release and that Ganga will be according to your name. The Rishi agreed and thus Ganga was able to continue her journey. Finally, Ganga released the side that had been extravagated the son of Sagara by entering the great crevasses. The Ganga went down to the Rashasthala. Uh, uh, Rashasthala. In doing so, she submerged the ashes of Sagara's 60,000 sons and emblaming them to reach their heavenly destination. What is the teaching so you can get? In our forefathers, if you do some activities, bank of the Ganges, then your forefather will be released from this material world or any hellish planning. So whenever you go to Ganges river, 3 times you offer for your forefathers to the water, then they will be released, whatever the difficulties or position they are. So Lord Brahma once more before Maharaj Bhagirath and declared, O king, your mission has now been accomplished. From this time forward, the Ganga shall be known as your daughter Bhagirathi. After thus delivering his forefather, Maharaj Bhagirath returned to capital and assumed rule over the kingdom. Thus the entire night passed away. The Vishwamitra narrated to Rama the fascinating history of Ganga River and her descendant to the earth. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So today we know about very nicely that how Ganga descended, that is Vishwamitra Rishi was explained to Lord Rama because Rama was interested to know that how Ganges came to this world. It is scripture says that if anybody, even the hearing the past times, how Ganga is appeared in this world, immediately he and his forefather also be just like a release from this material clusters of whatever the difficulties, Maya. So Ganga is so powerful. Even hearing the chanting, just uttering the sound of name Ganga, hearing the name of Gangas, touching the Ganga, standing bank of the Ganga, you will be free from all kinds of sinful activities. So Ganga Mata ki jai. So if you have get the chance, anytime go to closer to the Ganga, definitely you should take bath and to offering the water for your forefathers. That will be the best because in our name, in our happiness, whatever, depend on how much we are be grateful to our forefather, how much we are doing for them. By their benediction, the happiness. Because always to understand, happiness is not coming by endeavoring. Happiness is coming by our blessings. So remember this sentence. Happiness never come by endeavoring. You see, in this material world, people are so much endeavoring. Are they happy? No. But those people are doing some activities for the benediction, like a sadhu and pious people. You see, they are very happy. Why? Because they are doing the welfare things for the human society. And by their benediction, their life is become happy and peaceful. So if you want to be the happiness and peaceful life, do some good activities to spreading the Krishna consciousness to all over the world people. Then you automatically become happy. Happiness is like that. To giving someone, you will getting some. If you're not distributing, you're not getting. If you give the peace and happiness to others, you will automatically to get the peace and happiness. This business is like that. But if you holding and endeavoring, you can't get it. Okay. So thank you so much for your presence and the kind you are attending this class. If you have any question or comments, you can please to tell me. Anybody's any question? Okay, if you have no question, then we can stop here. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Ramchandra Bhagavan ki jai. Ganga Mata ki jai.
जय
Jai Nitai.